introduce you to a young entrepreneur who is really making waves in the hospitality industry. At the age of 24, he is already operating 17 restaurants. Yes, you heard me right, 17 restaurants. Absolutely amazing. This is Samir Ahmad. Welcome, Samir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Very welcome. I'm glad to have you on here. So obviously you've made a huge success of yourself at quite a young age. Give me some of the highlights of your career. What are the moments you're most proud of?
I think if we look at in terms of accolades, there are a few accolades that I've been really proud of. One is being last year winning the accolade of the best Thai restaurant in the UK. Mm-hmm. In the same month, we won the accolade for the best Japanese restaurant in the UK. But something that I think means the most to me is seeing those around me happy, with a smile on their face, having a good time, mm-hmm. enjoying themselves, seeing my younger brother being crowned the best Asian chef in the UK at the age
Amazing.
of 18. That, for me, seeing those types of personal development has been really something really special to me as well.
That's fantastic. So obviously you must know your food. Okay. Do you actually do any of the cooking in the restaurants, or are you at the front of the house? So
I'm actually at the front of the house. I do a little bit of cooking at home, but I think the people at home can agree that I make a bit of a mess.
Right.
So I stick to the front. And I mean, I've always been a people's person. So from young, my father, he was very good at developing talent. Mm-hmm. And he said, I think you'd be perfect at the front. Mm-hmm. And that's where I've been.
Fantastic. And one of the things I want to ask you actually is, if you were stuck on a desert island and you had to choose just two dishes, one for lunch, one for dinner, what would it be?
It would definitely not be chicken and chips.
Good, I'm glad to hear that.
That's for sure. What it would be, I would say for lunch, something that with a lot of protein that can keep me going for the day. Okay. I like a steak.
You like a steak, good?
A good steak that will give me enough energy to be on a deserted island fighting off whatever's there.
Yes.
And then at night, something maybe, I would say maybe something that we have in the restaurant, which is a pad thai, which is sweet, salty and spicy.
Fantastic.
And the texture that it's got from the crushed peanuts as well, which adds a lot of flavour to it.
I love a good pad thai. That's great. And you're, like you mentioned, you know, you've won best Thai restaurant, best Japanese restaurant. What was it that sort of made you want to develop these particular cuisines?
I think there was a massive gap in the market. If we look at other cuisines, such as Indian food mm-hmm. and Chinese food as well, they have very established restaurants within the UK, and the cuisine has been going on for a long time. Whereas Japanese food has relatively come in. You have the big names that you have on the high streets in central London and places like that, but there is not a lot of education about it. Same for Thai food as well. When you go to a lot of Thai restaurants, you won't find authentic Thai food. So our unique selling point was to have the most authentic experience possible, to source the best ingredients locally and from globally as well. And that was the most important thing.
And clearly you've sort of steered away from, I know there are some Thai restaurants where it's a Thai experience but with a Bangladeshi twist, but you've kind of stuck to the authenticity of having an actual Thai cuisine as you would expect.
I think for us that's been our most important thing. If you go somewhere in Thailand and if you come to one of our restaurants, you have the exact same experience, whether it be from the service you receive, whether it be from the food that you receive, and even the after experience as well, knowing that the waiters, the serving staff, the chefs, they all have the education that is required to talk to you about your ingredients, about the menu, and these things are, you know, something that we really pride ourselves on.
Fantastic. Now, I know you followed in your father's footsteps, and I believe he was the founder of the Lemongrass Group. Yes. What would you say to others who, you know, might be inspired? Maybe they want to go into the restaurant business, but perhaps they haven't got their father's legacy. Can they still succeed in that kind of area?
100%. It's not going to be easy. However, if someone knows that this is the industry that they want to put all their heart and soul into, because it takes a lot out of you. It's long hours, it's a lot of dedication, and it takes something a bit more than having the talent. You need to have that. To be a leader, you have to be a leader. And I think it's possible. I think you need to build your relationships. Hospitality is all about connections. So build your relationships with your staff, with your suppliers, with the product itself. Know your product inside out. Absolutely. For myself, the most important thing was I designed the menu myself when I was a 12-year-old boy. So if someone was to ask me any number of the menu, I would be able to tell them what dish that would be. And that's something that for me was really important. So even if I go to any of the different branches, if a customer asks a question, I can tell them what's in the dish, what allergies are in the dish, what allergens, and also where the ingredients are sourced from as well.
That's amazing. That's a level of perfectionism, isn't it, really? Now, if that wasn't enough, you, of course, with your brother, have founded the Miso group.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about this venture.
So Miso Hospitality, it was something that we saw a massive gap in the market. Every time we went to award shows, we went to other restaurants, we see it's a very aging population. The servers you would see are often students, and they don't see it as a career. It's more of in the gap. We're at university, we need to make a quick, just to cover our expenses. And when we look at chefs, every single chef we looked at was at an aging population coming to retirement within the next 3 or 4 years.
Right, so you need that younger generation really to be interested, don't you?
Exactly, and I think what we need to do is motivate them and inspire them from the ground up.
Absolutely. And I was reading, I mean, if this isn't enough, but you also trained in business lecturing.
Yes, so...
How do you bridge that education with this?
I think for me, the most important thing that's been embedded in me from a young age has been that education is the most important thing. And education is something that in the Western world, we actually have for free.
Absolutely.
And in other countries, in other parts of the world, in less economic developed countries, they have to work extra hard for education.
Yeah.
And education is a privilege that we must be able to embed in our life. And I think that's taking my approach of when I was becoming a business lecturer, taking that insight and then transferring it even into the restaurant. From the very ground upwards, everyone we believe should have some sort of education.
Absolutely.
Whether it be even practical education about how to cook a dish, or what are the allergens behind something, or food and hygiene. And that's what we've been trying to do with Miso Hospitality. My younger brother, who is 19 and award-winning chef, we do these 60-second videos where we do quick recipes, fun recipes that we can inspire new chefs. We give tips on
I love that.
entrepreneurship.
You're giving something back, aren't you, really?
Exactly that.
Which is great, which is really good. So, people watching, they need to understand that significance of education and whatever business you go into, that it will still be there to help you to build those core kind of communication skills like you were saying. And I know that philanthropy is something that's really close to your heart too. Islam is important to you. Can you tell me how you think that might shape the sort of philosophy behind what it is that you do?
I think with everything within myself, my mum, the first thing that she taught us was actually Islam. So she said, whatever it is you want to do, whether it be business, whether it be education, whatever it is, you have to be honest and you have to have integrity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I also, when at a young age, I read actually a hadith that said, the honest businessman will be with the prophets on the day of judgment. And for me, I knew that I had to be honest in whatever I do. So I have to give the right value for money. I have to make sure that I build these connections. And I've had the same relationships with suppliers since I've been 14 or 15 years old.
Amazing.
Till this day.
And that's testament to you having that kind of sincere relationship, isn't it, really? Do you think that family is key to some of the success that you've had?
100%, without a doubt. I think growing up in my house, we were a very close-knit family. And seeing the support that my mother gave my father, seeing the support that my grandmother gave my grandfather as well, these things have been embedded in me as well. So for me, advancing on to the next chapter of my life, having someone that can also support me as well is something that is crucial and really important, I think, to my success as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. What do you do in terms of kicking back, relaxing, because you must clearly be so busy, juggling so much? What do you do to kind of enjoy yourself?
Well, apart from actually, since I've left lecturing, I've partnered up with a company called STEM Innovation, where we're able to teach STEM in different schools around the south coast of England. And I've partnered with a gentleman called Ali Khan. And the inspiration that he's given me and what I've seen him develop, how develop children, develop the children's confidence, has something that stuck with me. But apart from that, I like to spend time with my family. I'm a foodie myself, so I like to travel and try different restaurants, experiences, travel the world. These are things I really enjoy. That's
brilliant. Well, Samir, thank you so much. It's fantastic. Now, come back another time. Let us know what you're doing. I want to hear about another 18 restaurants. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.